Hey everyone, back again, and when I reviewed this one, I gave this one my first impression, Xerjoff Torino21, I mentioned that I was going to do a side-by-side comparison with the clone version that I have from Scentual Obsessions, and this is called Grand Slam. This is just a 5mm from Scentual Obsessions, and I've had this one for a little while. I got it in a sample set along with a bunch of others from him that I was going to try. And I just want to give you my quick thoughts on what I think the comparison between these two are and if it's worth spending the extra on the real one versus the clone. This is part of his gold line, X-Straits it's called, and I think that it's supposed to be a little bit more premium, uses better ingredients. I've actually never tried any of the cheaper line from him. I just only have tried the gold line. So I don't know much between the two, if there's a huge difference. This one sells for, without any discount codes or anything, this one sells for, I think, $60 for a 50ml bottle. As this one here sells for, on discounters, you're lucky if you can find this one for about $150 for 50ml. So there is a huge price difference between the two of these. And I will go into a little bit the differences from start to finish, what I get from both of these. I actually just got done wearing them on the back of my hands all day today. This one and this one. Sprayed them on at the exact same time, just to kind of track how they changed throughout the life of them and how long they lasted on my skin, that type of thing. So when you spray this one on, it is a very, very nice mintiness that you get with it. It's a blast of really not spicy mint, but really cooling mentholated mint. And I wouldn't say it's like straight up toothpaste type of mint. It's more natural smelling than that. There's a lot of greenery involved, which toothpaste is more just like peppermint type of smell a lot of times. And this one over here, also similar vibe, of course. I mean, they're trying to clone it after all. You get a lot of mint with this one here. This mint on this one is slightly more green leafy, and a little less cooling. So that would be the difference. This one smells more natural to me, and a little bit more transparent and fluffy. And this one smells like thicker and a little bit less transparent. Both of them open with very, very nice citruses. As far as the citrus notes go, I would say they're very comparable actually. This one is a little less sweet. This one is sweeter. The real one is actually sweeter, which surprised me a little bit, but it was noticeably sweeter throughout the whole life of the fragrance. Even down into the dry down, I noticed the dry down of this one was sweeter than this one over here. This one here is greener throughout the entire life of the fragrance. It just kind of hangs on to that green mintiness a little longer than this one does. So depending on what you're going for there could be a preference that just depending on what you like, I guess. This one here, through the mids, I noticed the musks coming out a lot more. There was a powderiness, kind of a fluffiness involved, and you could tell that they were using some high-end musks in here in the base that were kind of giving it this airiness and this fluffiness, which I really did like. It did come across slightly more unisex, feminine. But that's not to say that this is a feminine fragrance. I think it's very unisex. It just did seem a little bit more like the musks you would find in a feminine fragrance that came through stronger in this one. This one leaned more on just the straight up kind of an ambroxany sweetness, just like a mass appealing sweetness type of musk in the base, and a little less nuance. As far as like how they pushed off my skin, I would say this one actually has a little bit better projection. This one seemed to be kind of a classier wear. It was smoother and a little lighter and airier, but not so strong and in your face. So once again there, depending on what you like, that can make a difference on which one you pick up. And going down into the base, once again, this one, like I said, stayed sweeter, a little bit more floral, and I could get just hints of some florals for some reason. I don't know if that was the lemon verbena that I know is in the base of this. You know, I don't know if it was the musks. It just smelled just a touch more feminine smelling, traditional feminine smelling than this one did. This one smelled a little bit more masculine to me all the way through its life. It was greener. It kind of was a little more punchy, a little thicker, and definitely has a big dose of ambroxan in it. This one, they both actually, I'm pretty sure they both have ambroxan in them. I'm pretty familiar with how ambroxan smells. I, as a hobby, mess around with perfuming myself, and I have the actual ambroxan crystals here, and they're just a white crystal that you have to dissolve into alcohol. But when you smell them, it's a very, very pleasant sweetness, and it's not at all what I hear a lot in the fragrance community, that people, they blame like a sharpness or a metallic smell on ambroxan, and personally I don't get that from ambroxan at all. I think they kind of have that wrong. I think what they're smelling is actually dihydromercenol. It's a top note that's used in a lot of men's fragrances, and this one smells very metallic and citrusy and sharp and peppery, and if you smelled this just by itself, you would immediately connect it to a lot of men's fragrances. Personally, I think ambroxan gets a bad rap. It's a very useful chemical in perfumery, and both of these definitely have it in them, if I were to guess. When they dry down, this one has ambroxan plus something else. You can tell there's more musks going on in this one. Like I said, it was pretty apparent all the way through its life, and it just seemed more complex. This one here was a little bit more straightforward, and you could tell it just kind of relied on that ambroxan to give it its push. But that all being said, when it comes down to it, how different are they? Well, I had my wife smell both of them, and I had my younger brother smell both of them, and very similar. They could barely pick up any difference. They both did agree with me that this one is greener, has more greenery throughout it, smells a little bit more masculine. As far as which one I like more, I think I slightly prefer this one, but just slightly, like barely. It's a little enough difference to me that I will more than likely pick up a full bottle of this, and I don't know if I'll keep this around or not. I might, just because I love it so much, and the bottle is gorgeous, and I like to have the real one in my collection, but I think I would spray this one more often. It seems a little bit more easy to wear, and of course it's way cheaper, so you don't feel like you're breaking the bank every time you spray it. So I would highly recommend getting a sample of this one, Grand Slam, and just trying it out, because if you like this one, you will like this one. This is a very easy way to try out the DNA and see if you're gonna like it, and it gives you a good idea of what this one's gonna smell like, and then you can decide if you want to spring for the real deal here. Okay, and as far as longevity goes, they're both incredible. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I'm actually just a day later. I'm about 24 hours since I've sprayed these on, and I can still smell the very far dry down on my hand. Of course, no, it's not going to be projecting at this point at all, but it does last for a very long time. I took a shower, I've washed my hands, it just kind of sticks. So as far as a fresh fragrance goes, I would say either one of these is just top of their game in staying power. As far as how close is this one to this one, I would say they're, I don't know, 90%. It's undeniably the same thing when you spray them on. You can tell they're very similar. There's just very subtle nuances throughout the whole life of them that does let you know that this one costs more to make. But the people around you are not going to realize that. I think this one projects more. It's probably going to get you more compliments just because more people are going to smell you. So that's kind of my thoughts on them. I'd highly recommend this DNA for sure. Try a sample of either one of these. Get your nose on it. It's well worth it. That's all I have. Thanks for watching.